Jasmaya and Tasmaya claim they discovered the horrific scene, but chilling evidence reveals a shocking truth. A spark of violence erupts into a firestorm of murderous fury. Today we're going to look at twin sisters and the twisted things that they did to their mother. We're going to look at the victim in the context of this crime, the plot twist, the bizarre details, and my psychological analysis of the twin sisters. But before we get to this case, if you're a fan of true crime psychology delivered in a story format, you're in the right place. I'm John Cordray. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I talk about crime psychology. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and engage with this video. It helps a lot. Now, let's talk about what these twin sisters did to their mom that will disturb you to your core. Strap in because this story is heartbreaking as it is psychologically complex. It was a quiet morning in Conyers, Georgia, January 13, 2010. The sun barely peeks over the horizon, casting a soft glow on a modest suburban home in a Bridle Ridge Walk neighborhood. Inside, a vibrant 34-year-old single mother, Dharmika, Nikki Whitehead, lies lifeless in her bathtub, her body marred by over 80 stab wounds. Nikki was a fighter, a woman who raised her identical twin daughters Jasmaya and Tasmaya with fierce love despite a turbulent life. Known for her infectious smile and relentless hustle, Nikki dreamed of giving her girls a better future. But that morning, her life was brutally cut short in a crime that shocked this close-knit community. Police arrived to a chilling scene. Blood smeared across the kitchen, a broken knife, and signs of a violent struggle. Who could have committed such a savage act against a devoted mother? The answer would unravel a tale far darker than anyone could imagine. Let's rewind to the days leading up to that fretful morning. Nikki Whitehead was a dedicated mom, but her relationship with her 16-year-old twins, Jasmaya and Tasmaya, was strained. The girls, known for their striking resemblance and inseparable bond, had been in and out of trouble. Petty theft, skipping school, and clashes with Nikki over her strict parenting. After a stint living with their great-grandmother, the twins had returned to Nikki's home just weeks before her death, and tensions were high. Neighbors reported hearing arguments, but no one suspected the storm that was brewing inside that house. On January 13, 2010, police responded to a 911 call from the Whitehead home. They found Nikki's body in the bathtub, her wounds suggesting a frenzied personal attack. Blood trailed from the kitchen all the way to the bathroom, with a shattered knife handle and scattered household items painting a picture of chaos. Initially, investigators suspected an outsider, a robbery gone wrong, or a vengeful ex. The twins, distraught and tearful, claimed that they had come home from school and found their mother dead. Their story seemed plausible until the cracks appeared. Here's the twist that turned this case upside down. Jasmaya and Tasmaya weren't the victims. They were the perpetrators. After months of investigation, police uncovered inconsistencies in their alibis. Surveillance footage showed the twins at home during the time of the murder, not at school as they had claimed. Forensic evidence tied them to the crime scene. Blood on their clothes, DNA under Nikki's fingernails from a desperate struggle. But the most chilling revelation came from their own mouths. In separate interrogations, the twins confessed to killing their mother in a fit of rage. They described a heated argument that escalated into violence. They stabbed, beat, and dragged Nikki's body to the bathtub, hoping to stage the scene. The twins, bound by their identical DNA and shared secrets, had acted as one in a horrifying act of killing their mother. But why would these two teenage girls murder the woman who gave them everything? The details are gut-wrenching. Jasmaya admitted to holding Nikki down while Tasmaya stabbed her repeatedly. The autopsy revealed defensive wounds, showing Nikki fought for her life against her own daughters. What drove these girls to do such a brutal act of betrayal? Now I want to dive into the minds of Jasmaya and Tasmaya Whitehead. These are my interpretations and speculations. It's not an official diagnosis. The twins' actions point to a complex interplay of psychological factors. First, let's consider their bond as identical twins. Research, like studies from the University of Minnesota's twin study, shows that identical twins often share an intense emotional connection, sometimes leading to a shared identity that can amplify destructive behavior under stress. Jasmaya and Tasmaya describe themselves as one person in two bodies, suggesting a dynamic where one's anger fueled the other's, creating a feedback loop of rage. Their emotive appears to be rooted in resentment and a need for control. Nikki's strict parenting clashed with the twins' desire for independence, a common tension in adolescence but magnified here by their volatile home life. Not every child who has a strict parent is going to kill. But in this case, that's exactly what happened. Psychological theories like the concept of social learning suggest the twins may have internalized aggressive conflict resolution from their environment. But what's striking here is the lack of empathy expressed post-crime. Their ability to resume normal activities aligns with traits of callousness often seen in juvenile offenders with conduct disorder, as outlined in the DSM-5. Were they sociopaths? Unlikely, as they showed remorse during their confessions, but their actions suggest a temporary disassociation, a psychological defense mechanism where they detach from the gravity of their crime. Nikki's psychology also plays a role here. As a single mother, she was both a disciplinarian and a nurturer, a balancing act that may have left her vulnerable to the twins' growing resentment. Her strict rules meant to protect may have felt suffocating to two teens craving autonomy. The crime's brutality, over 80 stab wounds, points to a deeply personal rage, possibly fueled by years of conflict. This aligns with FBI profiling on familiar homicides, where intense emotional bonds can paradoxically lead to extreme violence when trust erodes. What's most haunting in the twins' actions is their ability to commit this heinous crime as one, together as partners. Twin studies note that identical twins can reinforce each other's behavior for good or for bad. In this case, their shared identity may have emboldened them to cross a moral line neither may have done on their own. Did one twin lead in this heinous act, or was it truly a mutual descent into darkness? We may never know. Well, this was a truly interesting psychological case here between twin daughters and their mom. They must have had such resentment, such anger, and maybe even secrets that we don't even know yet. But something drove them to kill their mother. I'm always looking for interesting psychological cases. So if you have an idea for one for me to do next, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. And until next time, stay curious, stay safe.